Garry Pasquez and Darrell Rideaux from Brian Kennedy Howard Jones Field. Darrell, getting ready to face Colorado this week, but want to look back on the Arizona State game because one thing that we talked about last week in this video was the workmanlike atmosphere that we saw in practice. It was proactive from Clay Helton. Talk about how that translated into the game for the team.
Yeah, last week I thought it was an aberration, the fact that it was a workmanlike attitude, and I just really thought the guys might have been down. But no, this is something that they've really embodied and embraced, and it almost feels like they're using the week to kind of build up that energy and momentum and then explode on the football field. Almost like, come New Year's Eve, you pop the cork for champagne. These guys are celebrating on Saturdays, and you can tell that based on last week's results, they're having fun doing it.
And talk about how that translated specifically on the defensive side of the ball. You referred to it as a community outreach out there. Yeah. Everybody was involved in this game.
Yeah, and this speaks to the type of defense that Clancy Pendergast is expecting of his team, where if the defensive line is doing their job, it fans out to the linebackers, and eventually we're starting to see and notice more and more defensive backs like Adoree Jackson, and Jonathan Lockett getting involved, getting in the action. When you have 11 guys pursuing and swarming to the ball, Gary, great things happen. That's when turnovers occur. But more importantly, you have 11 guys dialed in for the same purpose, ready to pin the ears back.
And then one of the things we're continuing to see at practice today this week is just an energy for this football team, a bounce in the step. A win will obviously do that for you, but we're going to attribute a lot of it to number 14. Yeah. You feel it with the impact this guy's had.
Yeah, like I said, since the emergence of Sam Darnold, the millennial, I consider him to be the eraser, because not only does he on the field erase mistakes, but also he takes that negative pressure away from guys. And you can tell guys are giving extra effort to make sure they're where they are because they know that they have a special playmaker right there. And it doesn't just resonate with the offensive players. We're seeing it. It's infectious all across the football field on all phases of the game. But more importantly, I even think it may be even rubbing off on some of the coaches.
And okay, the Trojans got a win last week, but now they're getting ready to face Colorado. This is not the Colorado team that has visited the Coliseum in recent years. You look at them on the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot of experience out there. There's some long corners, some big guys along the interior. What do you see from them?
Yeah, Gary, a lot of juniors and seniors when you go up and down that starter roster, especially on the defensive side, as you talked about. That interior can clog a lot of holes. But when you start talking about corners 6'2", 6'3" in length, they're not asked to do a lot. They're just asked to play fundamental football, and the closer you get into the red zone, those pockets become smaller to throw the ball into. So this week, it's going to come back down to hard-nosed football. USC has to get off to a fast start to establish momentum, because Colorado, this is not the same Colorado we've seen in years past. They're not asked to do a lot, but they're good at what they do, and they expect to come here with a chip on their shoulder trying to get a win.
That's our report here from Brian Kennedy Howard Jones Field. For Darrell Rideaux, this is Garry Pasquetz, WeAreSC.